Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, the Yankees dropped Game 2. The series now ties. The Yankees fall short by a score of 4-2 in the Bronx there, and fall behind there, the dreadful fourth inning, as we say, but really had an opportunity. There was a little bit of a door open. The Royals left the door open for the Yankees to come back in the ninth inning. Jazz with the home run to make it 4-2, but the Yankee hitters squandering an opportunity there, and I'll kind of get into the whole thing. What about the old days of, take a strike? But anyway, we'll get into the whole thing. Unfortunately, now the Yankees will go to Royals with the series tied 1-1. And, of course, the news also announced before the game that we all thought it would be Luis Gil for Game 3, but it looks like Boone will be going to Clark Schmidt. So Gil's going to be kind of the long man out of the pen there, just pretty much the rest of the way there. So a lot of little surprises there. Didn't see that one coming, so we'll get into the whole thing, react to that. So make sure you subscribe to this podcast. We got the rest of this series to go, at least going to a Game 4. We know that at the very least. And don't feel too bad. Again, all the divisional series right now are tied one game apiece, but nevertheless, an annoying loss for the Yankees. So make sure you subscribe to the podcast, get reactions every game, and of course during the rest of the winter and off season and moving forward. And of course there's the YouTube version of the show, Section 420 Talkin Yankees. Go there, search it, find it, subscribe there. So the Yankees, after the good luck win there, kind of win you kind of feel like maybe got away with something there, just with all, you get a bad start from Garrett Cole. The Yankees left a lot of runners on base. Big error by Anthony Volpe, which will later on lead to an infield drawn in and a two-run single there. So all those bad things happened to you in that first game, and the Yankees still came out with a 6-5 win there. Unfortunately, this game, this is annoying, just for the fact that, again, the Yankees early on had an opportunity to jump out and get a lead, did the same thing they did in the first inning of the first game, had a couple of runners on with the big men coming up, and you think you get an opportunity for a crooked number, but no, it's not the case there. Let the Royals hang around for a couple innings, and then Rodón would fizzle out, and then their offense would finally go to work. And I know Perez got the big home run to kind of get them started there, but really it was the bludgeon of singles, and the Royals getting 11 hits in this game overall just basically singled the Yankees to death. But I guess we'll start with Rodón. Obviously, it was the big free agency pickup a couple of years ago. Last year was kind of a wasted year for his season, and when you get a new guy that comes to the Yankees, especially signs a big contract, the whole question is, when is it going to be his Yankee moment? When is it going to be that Yankee defining moment? You look at Matsui. He got right out of the gate there in 2003 when the Yankees signed him home against Minnesota with the snow coming down. Hits a grand slam, first game there, gets it right off the schneid there. Then, of course, you look at Jason Giambi when the Yankees signed him in 2002. Struggled the first month, was getting booed by the fans, and then there's that 13-inning marathon game against Minnesota. Hits a game-winning grand slam, walk-off home run in the rain there. You say, all right, that was his Yankee moment. Take someone random like El Duque, for example. He might have had a little bit early, but of course his moment, there was that big Game 3 in Cleveland with the Yankees down 2-1 there. Comes up with a huge start there. Huge game for the Yankees to at least tie that series 2-2. Get it to Game 5 where Wells able to get the win there, and of course take it back to the Bronx way to win the that series there. So that was kind of El Duque's Yankee moment. So you kind of see when it was Carlos Rodón's Yankee moment will be. Now it's a little harder for a pitcher because you're not going to get a dramatic 2-run home run or a game-winning grand slam. You're a pitcher. Best you could do maybe, I don't know, throw a perfect game, a no-hitter. I don't know. Obviously the Yankees not in the postseason last season, so no really opportunity for him. But now gets his first postseason start in pinstripes in the Bronx at home there. And in that first inning, he came out and he looked probably as better than he looked the entire season. Just with the fastball, the slider, he was pumped up. The crowd was pumped up. I was about to say, wow, I was thinking this is the game where I could come afterwards right now as I'm speaking to you now, say, yep, this was the Carlos Rodón Yankee moment. And that's the way I was looking for the first 2 innings. Started to struggle up a little bit, get a couple guys on, but then he got get some breaks there with a couple runners on, running there, getting a line drive right to Juan Soto in right field there. Otherwise, if that falls in the gap, maybe you're looking at it, maybe 1 or 2 runs at least there. So again, rolling along a little bit. Now, the problem with the Yankees, though, was their offense wasn't able to get it going. And Cole Reagans, he was, the ace for the Royals there. He was good too, but he didn't have his A game. He was missing early. Walks the first 2 batters he faced there, and you kind of think this is going to be a replay of Game 1. And of course, Judge up again. And again, I don't know what it is. Judge now finally got a little bit better, and he got on base twice this game there. So I guess baby steps. But to Bob Costas' point there, and he blitzed it a lot in the first game, and of course in the second game. I didn't really touch upon it in the previous episode, just because look, it's one game there. I'm not going to make a whole diatribe about Judge on one game there. But yes, since the Houston series there, he has especially that. I know they kind of look back Judge's total career in the postseason, but definitely since that Houston series, he has had that bit of that deer in the headlights look and just not look like himself, not look comfortable, and got really smoked on like 3 or 4 pitches for the strikeout with 2 runners on there. Again, you're looking for him to really come up big there in that moment. There, doesn't. Now, finally, the bat after that, he did send a ball to the wall there, so kind of looking a little bit more judgy, but still, he still has a bit of that deer in the headlights look to him. Again, I don't know what it is, but never wholly judge figures it out sooner rather than later. But the annoying part that, Reagan's wasn't at his best. Okay, he was good, but he wasn't at his best, and he was doable for the Yankees. The problem is the Yankee offense really didn't get to him. They kind of kept Kansas City in the game. Again, Rodón was doing well, but unfortunately, eventually he hit the wall there in the 4th inning and just completely fizzled out. Now, the Yankees would go ahead 1-0 before that. Gleyber Torres on second. Stanton smoked the ball to Bobby Witt Jr. there in the shortstop hole, and the ball just completely ate him up. Ball ended up rolling in there into left field, and Gleyber able to come in, give the Yankees a brief 1-0 lead there. And again, everything was feeling good. Rodón was looking sharp there. You won game 1. Looks like now the Yankees are getting to Cole ray guns, and he almost had that deal in the headlights look a little bit too as well. Again, I don't think he was like, scared of Yankee Stadium, but again, he did not look sharp and confident at all, and his pitches weren't that sharp, and he was missing a lot, walking a lot of guys there, so he wasn't himself, so he was there for the taking. It's just the offense never really got it going against him. Kept Kansas City in the game there, and then they were able to start to chip away at Carlos Rodón. And as mentioned earlier, started with the Perez solo home run there to the old veteran. And of all the guys, you give a home run to him. And if you give a home run to Bobby Witt Jr., at least understand, don't give it to this guy. He's been in the league for like 20 years, but nevertheless, served a home run to him, 1-0. And then after that, it was just like death by singles. Gurriel gets a single, gets on, and just single. Before you know it, it's 3-1 there, and then Boone has to come and take him out. Can't get at it the 4th inning there, and you can see something happen to him. I don't know what it was. He definitely lost control of his fastball. Early on in the game, in the first 2 frames, when he was just looking, just razor sharp there, he was pumping the fastball 97, 98, getting cold strikes there, and then in the 4th inning, whatever happened, he just lost the fastball. It was riding high, so the velocity, clocked at 98, but not even close to the strike zone, and he was able to sort of muddle through some at bats there just by going to his slider and his changeup there to get some swing and misses low there, but you can't set that up unless you have the good fastball there. You can establish it, you can throw for a strike. He couldn't establish that anymore, so he was basically an emperor without clothes, and it's got to a point where they were just singling him to death, where Boone has had to yank him out. And that's kind of the good and the bad of some of these games, where now you have a day off between the games there. Maybe during the regular season you would have stuck with Rodón a little bit longer. I thought maybe he could have stuck with him a little bit longer. I think it was around like 70 in his pitch counts, which is like for a starter, it's not crazy, but the benefit of having these off days between games that you can unload the bullpen. So going to Ian Hamilton early there. Now he'll give up the 4th run there on the hit. Now they would nail Garcia going to second base there, trying to extend that to get out of the inning finally. But at that point, the Yankees were behind 4-1. Just the way the bats again were kind of sleepy through the first 4 or 5 innings. You kind of worried a little bit. I thought the Yankees still, even if they kept it within 3, I thought it was still manageable if they could chip it away, get the game within a run or 2 within the 8th and 9th inning, still come for the comeback. So I didn't totally throw in the towel yet. It was kind of annoying there. So you fall behind 5-1, 6-1, then okay, that's all she wrote there. But even at 4-1, the Yankee bats really give you anything at that point. You figure at some point they would come alive there. So I thought the game was still within hand there, and the Yankee bullpen the rest of the way, and Boone piece by piece there got it going. Jake Cousins came out, made his appearance. Now the guy hasn't pitched since like September 19th, so he really wasn't effective. But nevertheless, the Yankees able to navigate their way through. Clay Holmes was all right. Tim Hill, Meza, they all just did the job there. It's just the bats never really got it going, which then brings us to the 9th inning, where Ursek, the closer now, the Yankees saw him the other day, again, slapped him around a little bit. So you figure, all right, you got to taste this guy. You saw him, and it was right there. I know you can't have everything perfect all the time there, but first bat he faces, Jazz, foul ball, then throws a ball there, and then serves one up right up the middle. Jazz smokes it into the second deck there, cuts the lead to 4-2. All right, it's 4-2. You got no outs yet. You could definitely get a guy on and start a rally there. Now, after that, Volpe up next there. Now, look, Volpe, he had himself overall good game. Overall, again, stole a base in this game. At least he took a strike. At least took a strike before he swung there. Ended up, though, swung at that pitch that was definitely in on his hands there. Easy ground out to shortstop, so you have one out. Then Verdugo's up next. Gets a 2-0 count. So this guy's struggling a little bit with Jazz. You can see, again, his pitches were not any close to the corner. At least Volpe made him throw a strike before he swung. Verdugo goes 2-0. Okay, you got 2-0 on the guy. Take a strike. Take a strike. The guy's not sharp. Clearly, I could see it. I'm not even a professional ball player. They should be able to see that. Nevertheless, he swings on 2-0. Now, I know he went opposite field last time in the game one day. Maybe tried to do the same thing, but it was an easy ground out to the third baseman. So now you have 2 outs, and then decision to stick with John Birdie, who got to start at first base instead of Oswaldo Cabrera there, which you kind of figured was going to be the case, with Cole Reagan's a left-hander. Now, Oswaldo Cabrera is a switch hitter, but he usually hits more from the left side of the plate there, so not super shocked to see Birdie at that first base. Now, he actually hasn't started a game for the Yankees at all at first base the entire season, but he's kind of versatile. He's played all over again, so I wasn't as worried about it. In fact, I was probably more confident in him defensively than I was with Oswaldo Cabrera playing first base. But this is when I have to scratch my head a little bit. Now, it ended up working there, so I guess you can't criticize it. But you got a right-handed Urseg versus the right-handed Birdie. Now, Birdie, his previous at-bat there, did hit a ball pretty well there to left field, and Tommy Pham, who was playing left at the time, actually had to jump up the leap and get it there, so he did put some good wood on the pitch. But righty on righty, you have Jason Dominguez to come off the bench. You have Ben Rice to come off the bench. You even have Oswaldo Cabrera to come off the bench. You have Trent Grisham to come off the bench. And we've seen Trent Grisham hit a couple of pinch hit home runs so far this season, yet he sticks with Birdie, the righty on righty there. Now, I don't have the stats of seeing Birdie's lifetime career against Ursig, so maybe Birdie's gotten some hits off him. Maybe that's why Boone stuck with him there. If you take Birdie out, you still have, again, you do have options to play defense at first base. You have Ben Rice, you have Oswaldo Cabrera, so if you did take him out, it wasn't a big deal. It's not like you're losing your first baseman there, but Boone stuck with him. Didn't like the decision. Now it worked out because he got a single to right field there, so the Yankees still alive at that point. And then, of course, Gleyber Torres comes up, and again, it's hard for me to kill him because overall to this point, you have to say he has had a good divisional series in the first 2 games overall. But again, same thing. Let the guy throw a strike first. He swings at the first pitch. It's an inside ball that got this guy jammed on his hands, and it's an easy ground out to shortstop, and the Yankees squander an opportunity there. Gleyber could have worked the count a little bit, get on somehow, some way, and then you have Juan Soto and Aaron Judge up next, number 2 and number 3, to maybe with one swing win the game there with one swing there. But the Yankees never give him that chance there because Gleyber Torres swinging at the first pitch. It's so unstandard with these guys. If you're down, you're losing, it's a 2-0 count, take a strike. If you're Gleyber Torres, just coming up there, it's 2 outs. Don't swing at the first pitch. I mean, it's got to be an absolute cookie down the middle for you to swing it. First of all, the guy's throwing 99 miles per hour, so just the fact, even if the pitch isn't that great, or even if it's right down the middle, you're still probably not going to be able to square it up well. So let the guy get himself into trouble. Again, he wasn't sharp. Maybe he would have walked Torres and he would have gotten Soto up there, and maybe, again, one swing could have ended the game there, but the Yankees squandered that opportunity tonight. Now, you focus on that, but really, again, the story is Rodón there, just fizzling it out, not able to get out of the 4th inning for a guy who paid $162 million to last year. First playoff game, good opportunity there. Again, first inning looked strong, and I thought this could be a special night for him. I was all getting ready to say, hey, this is his Yankee moment. He got christened as a Yankee. But unfortunately falls flat now. And now these are 2 starts in a row we've had by not only Garrett Cole, but now Carlos Rodón, 2 starts in a row where the starter wasn't effective. And this goes back, was it the rest? Maybe. Again, the whole week off? Maybe. I think Rodón's last start, one of the Baltimore games. Again, he wasn't terrible, but again, it was still like 3 or 4 games before the regular season ended. Plus, then you had the whole week layoff, and now you go into this situation there. So, did that have something to do with it? Probably. But nevertheless, again, he faltered there in his first postseason start as a Yankee. Again, I'm not going to kill him, not going to crush him, not going to say he was garbage. And in normal circumstances, if you didn't have the off day in between games, probably Boone would have stuck him a little bit longer there. Maybe would have somehow found a way to, find it, quote unquote, and get out of it, and at least give the Yankees a little bit more length. But Yankees with the quick hook going to Ian Hamilton there, who also just, again, after that, gave up another run on a hit there. So not a good Yankee postseason debut for Carlos Rodón, but goes to bullpen, then did his job. The offense really didn't do its job as well. And so you could blame Rodón, but also the offense has to be blamed too as well. Didn't really surmount much there, and had opportunities in the first inning there, 2 runners, nobody out. And in the 9th inning, beat. Verdugo, Volpe, and Torres. Again, you criticize how their approaches were at those at-bats against a closer who did not look, exactly terrific and super sharp. Now you got someone like Mariano Rivera in his prime there, where if you fall behind 0-2, you're finished. All right, then at least you could kind of understand why you swing early. But this guy's not that. I mean, he's decent. He throws 99, throws hard. He's had a good season. But again, he's a guy who could also probably, walk you. He could be a little wild. So let him do it. Give him the opportunity. Don't swing so early. Lengthen out the bat. Not only do you do that, but then even if he gets out of it, you now made him throw some more pitches. You've seen a bit more, and it makes him maybe that less effective now for Game 3. But again, all that's out of the window when you swing for the first pitch. So annoying loss. Again, it was there for the Yankees. They had an opportunity, but now the series tied 1-1. And as mentioned before in the intro, Clarke Schmidt, to the surprise of probably many, will get the start for Game 3. I kind of understand it a little bit. If you look at Luis Gil's last 2 starts of the season, was in Oakland. Now, he did get the win in Oakland, but he did give up like 5 runs there. Just the Yankee offense gave him more enough to work with. Wasn't very impressive there. And then the final game of the season, got slapped around a little bit by Pittsburgh. Now, that was one of those mucky, rainy, dewy days at the stadium there, afternoon game. Did that have something to do with it a little bit? Again, don't want to make excuses for the guy, but again, his last 2 starts of the season weren't that great. Schmidt a little bit more sharp, a little bit better, so I'm not all that surprised. Going with Clarke Schmidt at Game 3, I don't love it, but I can see this actually playing out is that there's a really good possibility I can see the Yankees have to replay of what they did in the ALDS in 2022 against Cleveland. Now, if you remember there, that the Yankees fell behind 2-1, and it was that gentleman for Game 4 who's lined up for Game 4 in the series, Garrett Cole, who needed to have a big start in Cleveland. Got the win there, able to bring it back to the Bronx for Game 5, where the Yankees are able to close out and get the win and win the series. So I could very well see the Yankees losing Game 3. Clarke Schmidt versus Seth Lugo. Seth Lugo having a very good season. Very late in the season, visiting Yankee Stadium. He absolutely shut the Yankees down for 7-8 innings. I think got like 2 hits off the guy. Absolutely shut the Yankees down. Now he's going to be home with his fans and them all pumped up like that stuff. And again, Clarke Schmidt, decent pitcher, but he's not Garrett Cole. He's not El Duque. He's not Andy Pettitte. Is he going to go out there and like have 5-6 shutout innings or just hold the Royals to 1 run? I can't see that happening. So I could very well see the Yankees losing Game 3 and then be set up in a situation where now Cole's going to have to come out, they win Game 4, and then have to win Game 5 at home. So I could see that scenario happening more than Clarke Schmidt going out there, winning Game 3, and then the Yankees closing it out in Kansas City. So unfortunately, I think there's a high probability this is going to have to come back to the Bronx for a Game 5. So even if the Yankees lose Game 3, I don't think all hope is lost there, but I could see that happening. Again, I just don't like the pitching matchup and the fact now the Yankees are on the road there. Now, could Judge come alive? Can Soto come alive in Kansas City and put up the 10 spot? Maybe, but at this point so far, doesn't seem like that's happening. And the Orioles scored no runs in their first game against the Royals, only 1 run in the second game, so as they got swept in the first round there. And so far the Yankees put up 6 runs in Game 1 there, but again, overall the Royals bullpen also helped them out by issuing 7 or 8 walks, which is not normally going to happen there. So Yankees got a break there, and the Royal bullpen, although not untouchable tonight, but definitely not as bad as they were in Game 1 there. So I don't see the Yankees putting a big crooked number in Game 3 to give Schmidt that run cushion. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see that. I see it more them losing Game 3, having to win Game 4, and then coming home to the Bronx, have to win it in Game 5. So that's the episode. I wish I had a good opening monologue for Carlos Rodón having his great, Yankee moment, quote unquote, but I guess we'll have to wait for another time. Catch you next episode.